In this vast world of ours, with all its complexities and challenges, the most important competition you'll ever face is the one in the mirror. It's not about outdoing your neighbor, your coworker, or that person you follow on social media. It's about outdoing the person you were yesterday. You see, personal development isn't a destination, it's a journey. And on this journey, you're both the traveler and the road. You're the sculptor in the stone. You're the farmer and the field. Every single day, you have the opportunity to chip away at your imperfections, to plant seeds of growth, to take one more step towards becoming the person you aspire to be. Now, some of you might be thinking, Jim, that sounds great, but how do I actually do that? How do I become better than I was yesterday? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me share with you a few fundamental principles that can guide you on this journey. First and foremost, you've got to have a clear vision of who you want to become. You can't hit a target you can't see, so ask yourself, what does your best self look like? What habits does that person have? What skills do they possess? What impact do they make on the world around them? Paint that picture in vivid detail in your mind. Make it so real that you can almost reach out and touch it. But here's the kicker, that vision isn't static. As you grow and evolve, so too will your vision of your best self. And that's okay. In fact, that's fantastic. It means you're expanding your horizons, raising your standards, and pushing the boundaries of what you believe is possible for yourself. Now, once you have that vision, the next step is to break it down into actionable steps. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is your best self. It's built one brick at a time, one day at a time. So what's one small thing you can do today to move closer to that vision? Maybe it's reading 10 pages of a book that will expand your mind. Maybe it's having that difficult conversation you've been putting off. Maybe it's lacing up your sneakers and going for a run, even when every fiber of your being is screaming at you to stay on the couch. Whatever it is, identify it and do it. But here's the secret sauce: consistency. It's not about making giant leaps every once in a while. It's about taking small steps every single day. It's about showing up for yourself day in and day out, even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. You see, success isn't about what you do occasionally. It's about what you do consistently. The small choices you make every day are like compound interest for your life. They may not seem like much in the moment, but over time they accumulate and create massive change. Now, let's talk about discipline. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your accomplishments. It's what gets you out of bed when you'd rather sleep in. It's what keeps you working when you'd rather be playing. It's what makes you say no to the things that don't align with your vision, even when they're tempting. But here's the thing about discipline, it's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And the stronger it gets, the easier it becomes to make those tough choices that move you forward. So how do you build that discipline muscle? You start small, you make promises to yourself, and you keep them. You set an alarm for 6 a.m. and you get up when it rings, even if you don't have to. You say you're going to work out 3 times this week, and you do it, even if you don't feel like it. You commit to reading for 30 minutes a day, and you do it, even if you're tired. These might seem like small things, but they're not. They're the building blocks of your character. They're the foundation upon which you'll build the habits that will transform your life. Now, I want to address something that's crucial in this journey of self-improvement: failure. Yes, you heard me right. Failure. It's not a dirty word. In fact, it's one of your greatest teachers. You see, on this path of becoming better than you were yesterday, you're going to stumble. You're going to fall. You're going to have days where you feel like you've taken 2 steps back for every step forward. And that's okay. That's part of the process. The key is how you respond to those failures. Do you let them define you? Do you let them stop you in your tracks? Or do you use them as fuel to propel you forward? I want you to start seeing failures as feedback. They're not a reflection of your worth as a person. They're simply information. They're telling you what doesn't work, which brings you one step closer to finding out what does work. Thomas Edison, when he was working on inventing the light bulb, famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset I want you to adopt. Every failure, every setback, every disappointment is just another way that doesn't work. It's another lesson learned. It's another opportunity to grow stronger, to become more resilient, to get better. Now let's talk about your environment. You've probably heard the saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. There's a lot of truth to that. Your environment shapes you in ways you might not even realize. So take a look around you. Are you surrounded by people who inspire you to be better? Are you in an environment that challenges you to grow? Or are you surrounded by negativity, by complacency, by people who are content with mediocrity? If it's the latter, it might be time to make some changes. Now, I'm not saying you should cut people out of your life, but you might need to limit your exposure to those who drag you down and seek out those who lift you up. Find mentors. Seek out people who are where you want to be. Read their books. Listen to their podcasts. Attend their seminars. Immerse yourself in the kind of thinking and behavior you want to emulate. And here's something crucial. Become a lifelong learner. The moment you stop learning is the moment you stop growing. And if you're not growing, you're dying. It's as simple as that. Make a commitment to learn something new every day. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it's a new word. Maybe it's a new skill. Maybe it's a new perspective on something you thought you already knew. Whatever it is, seek it out. Be curious. Ask questions. Challenge your assumptions. You see, knowledge isn't just power, it's potential power. It's only when you apply what you learn that it becomes truly valuable. So don't just consume information. Use it. Apply it. Test it. See what works for you and what doesn't. Now, let's talk about goals. Goals are the compass that guide you on this journey of self-improvement. They give you direction. They give you purpose. They give you something to strive for. But here's the thing about goals. They need to be SMART. That stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Vague goals lead to vague results. So instead of saying, I want to be healthier, say, I want to run a 5,000 in under 30 minutes by December 31st. Instead of saying, I want to be more successful, say, I want to increase my income by 20% in the next 12 months. And once you set those goals, write them down. There's something powerful about putting pen to paper. It makes your goals more tangible, more real. Put them somewhere you'll see them every day. Let them be a constant reminder of what you're working towards. But remember, goals are not set in stone. As you grow and change, your goals might need to evolve too. That's okay. The important thing is that you're always moving forward, always striving to be better than you were yesterday. Now, I want to touch on something that's often overlooked in discussions about self-improvement, rest and recovery. You see, becoming better than you were yesterday doesn't mean grinding yourself into the ground. It doesn't mean working 18-hour days and sacrificing your health and relationships on the altar of success. In fact, proper rest and recovery are essential to sustain growth and improvement. Your body and mind need time to recharge, to process, to integrate the lessons you've learned and the progress you've made. So make sure you're getting enough sleep. Make time for relaxation and leisure activities. Spend time with loved ones. These aren't distractions from your journey of self-improvement. They're an essential part of it. Think of it like this. If you're constantly pushing a car at full throttle, eventually the engine's going to burn out. But if you give it regular maintenance, if you let it cool down between races, it'll perform better and last longer. The same principle applies to you. Now, let's talk about gratitude. Gratitude might seem unrelated to becoming better than you were yesterday, but trust me, it's a game changer. You see, it's easy to get so focused on where you want to be that you forget to appreciate how far you've come. Take time each day to reflect on what you're grateful for. It could be big things like your health or your family, or small things like a delicious cup of coffee or a beautiful sunset. This practice does two important things. First, it shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. And when you're coming from a place of abundance rather than scarcity, you're in a much better position to grow and improve. Second, it helps you recognize the progress you've made. When you're on a journey of self-improvement, it's easy to always be looking at how far you still have to go. But taking time to be grateful for how far you've come can be incredibly motivating. Now, I want to address something that many people struggle with on this journey: comparison. In today's world of social media and constant connectivity, it's easier than ever to compare ourselves to others. And let me tell you, that's a dangerous game. Remember, the only person you need to be better than is the person you were yesterday. Your journey is unique, your challenges are unique, your strengths and weaknesses are unique. So why would you measure yourself against someone else's yardstick? When you find yourself falling into the comparison trap, remind yourself of this: behind every success story you see, there are countless hours of hard work, failures, and setbacks that you don't see. You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. Instead of comparing yourself to others, compare yourself to who you were yesterday, last month, last year. That's the only comparison that matters. That's the only comparison that will drive you forward instead of holding you back. Now, let's talk about the power of habits. Your life today is essentially the sum of your habits. How in shape or out of shape you are? A result of your habits. How happy or unhappy you are? A result of your habits. How successful or unsuccessful you are? You guessed it, largely a result of your habits. What you repeatedly do ultimately forms the person you are, the things you believe, and the personality you portray. But here's the exciting thing: just as your good and bad habits have been formed through repetition, they can also be changed through repetition. So if you want to be better than you were yesterday, focus on your habits. Identify the habits that are holding you back and work on replacing them with habits that will move you forward. Remember, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Your daily habits are your systems. Start small. Want to read more? Start with just 10 pages a day. Want to get in shape? Start with just 10 minutes of exercise a day. Want to eat healthier? Start by adding 1 serving of vegetables to your diet each day. These might seem like tiny changes, but remember what we said about compound interest. These small habits, repeated daily, will create massive changes over time. Now, I want to talk about something that's absolutely crucial in this journey of self-improvement: self-talk. The conversations you have with yourself, the way you speak to yourself in your own mind, have an enormous impact on your ability to grow and improve. You see, your mind believes what you tell it. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that you can't do something, that you'll never improve, guess what? Your mind will believe it, and it will become your reality. On the other hand, if you speak to yourself with encouragement, if you remind yourself of your strengths, if you focus on your potential for growth, your mind will believe that too, and it will propel you forward. So pay attention to your self-talk. When you catch yourself thinking negative thoughts, challenge them. Replace "I can't do this" with "I can't do this yet, but I'm learning and improving." Replace "I'm not good enough" with "I'm growing and getting better every day." This isn't about deluding yourself or ignoring areas where you need to improve. It's about approaching your growth with a mindset of possibility rather than limitation. It's about being your own biggest cheerleader instead of your own worst critic. Now let's talk about the importance of taking action. You see, knowledge without action is like a book that's never opened, full of potential, but ultimately useless. You can read all the self-help books in the world, attend every seminar, listen to every podcast, but if you don't take action, nothing will change. I've seen so many people get stuck in what I call analysis paralysis. They're constantly planning, constantly preparing, constantly waiting for the perfect moment to start. But here's the truth: there is no perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. Don't wait until you feel ready. You'll never feel 100% ready. Start before you feel ready. Take imperfect action, because imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time. Remember, you don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step. Just take that first step. Then the next one, and the next one. Before you know it, you'll have climbed higher than you ever thought possible. Now, I want to address something that's often overlooked in discussions about self-improvement: the importance of patience. In today's world of instant gratification, we've been conditioned to expect immediate results. But real, lasting change doesn't happen overnight. Think about it. If you want to lose weight, you can't expect to drop 20 pounds after one workout. If you want to learn a new skill, you can't expect to be an expert after one lesson. If you want to build a successful business, you can't expect to be profitable from day one. Real growth takes time. It's a process, and often it's a slow process. But here's the thing: slow progress is still progress. In fact, slow, steady progress is often more sustainable than rapid change. So be patient with yourself. Celebrate the small victories along the way. Recognize that every step forward, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your goals. Trust the process. Trust that if you keep showing up, if you keep putting in the work, the results will come. Now let's talk about the power of reflection. In our busy lives, it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind and forget to take a step back and reflect on our progress. But reflection is a crucial part of the growth process. Set aside time regularly, maybe at the end of each day or each week, to reflect on your journey. Ask yourself what worked well, what didn't work, what did I learn, how have I grown? What can I do differently going forward? This practice of reflection serves several purposes. First, it helps you recognize your progress, which can be incredibly motivating. Second, it helps you identify areas where you need to improve or adjust your approach. And third, it helps you stay aligned with your goals and values. Remember, the goal isn't just to be busy. The goal is to be productive. And reflection helps you ensure that your actions are truly moving you in the direction you want to go. Now, I want to touch on something that's absolutely essential in this journey of becoming better than you were yesterday, self-care. You see, you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're not taking care of yourself, you won't have the energy, the focus, or the resilience needed to continually improve and grow. Self-care isn't selfish, it's necessary. It's about maintaining your physical, mental, and emotional health so that you can show up as your best self, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. This means getting enough sleep. It means eating nutritious food. It means exercising regularly. It means taking breaks when you need them. It means setting boundaries. It means doing things that bring you joy and fulfillment. Remember, you're playing the long game here. This isn't about burning yourself out in pursuit of rapid progress. It's about creating sustainable habits and practices that will support your growth over the long term. Now let's talk about the power of your mindset. Your mindset is like the operating system of your brain. It determines how you interpret and respond to everything that happens in your life. And when it comes to self-improvement, having the right mindset is absolutely crucial. What you want is what's called a growth mindset. This is the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. It's the opposite of a fixed mindset, which believes that your qualities are carved in stone and can't be changed. With a growth mindset, you embrace challenges instead of avoiding them. You persist in the face of setbacks instead of giving up. You see effort as the path to mastery, not as something fruitless or worse. You learn from criticism instead of ignoring it. And you find lessons and inspiration in the success of others instead of feeling threatened by it. This mindset is essential for becoming better than you were yesterday because it opens you up to endless possibilities for growth and improvement. Now, as we wrap up our discussion, I want to emphasize that becoming better than you were yesterday is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about consistently moving in the right direction, even if that movement is sometimes small or slow. Remember, you're not competing against anyone else. You're competing against the person you were yesterday. And every day that you make even a tiny bit of progress, you're winning that competition. This journey of self-improvement is not always easy. There will be days when you feel like you're taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. There will be times when you feel frustrated, discouraged, or tempted to give up. But I want you to remember this. Those challenges, those setbacks, those moments of doubt, they're all part of the process. They're what make you stronger, resilient, more capable. So embrace the journey. Embrace the challenges. Embrace the growth. Wake up each day with the intention to be just a little bit better than you were yesterday. And remember, it's not about making drastic changes overnight. It's about making small, consistent improvements day after day, week after week, year after year. Because those small improvements, compounded over time, lead to extraordinary results. Ladies and gentlemen, you have within you everything you need to become the best version of yourself. You have the power to shape your life, to overcome obstacles, to achieve your dreams. It all starts with a decision to commit to your own growth and improvement. A decision to be better than you were yesterday. So I challenge you, make that decision today. Start now, take that first step, and then keep stepping, keep growing, keep improving. Because remember, it's you versus you, and I believe in you. Thank you.